How you doing, man?
I'm doing fine. And yourself? How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Good. I like your t-shirt.
You like it?
Yeah, it's great.
It's pretty badass, isn't it? You a fan?
My brother is the biggest Rick and Morty fan, so we watch it quite a lot together.
What else are you a fan of in TV right now? Like during the pandemic, have you watched a lot of TV?
Succession. Have you watched that?
Dude, I love it.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing. I know some of the people that it's based on, and it's they say that some of it is true.
Well, it does certainly appear like an adaptation of a rich family's empire.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's some stuff that's sort of made up, but I think it's all based on reality.
Yeah, I know. I mean, obviously, there must be a lot of fiction to it, but the whole, when you're in the media and you're close to like those kinds of things, like power
Yeah.
and families, you kind of know.
Yeah, you kind of see it. Every single girl I know is obsessed with Cousin Greg as well. They love Cousin Greg.
Awesome. So, what you been up to, man? Now that we're talking about TV and stuff like that, how you been?
Yeah, good. I've been, I've been obviously making the album and stuff, but mostly like the biggest change in my life is becoming a dad. I've been a dad to a wonderful baby girl for about 10 months now, and it's fantastic.
What's the biggest discovery when you become a dad? How old are you, by the way? And I'm sorry to ask the question so upfront.
I'm 30. I'm 30. But
Okay.
the biggest discovery I had is that no one knows what they're doing when they first have a kid. And I always think that, I read all the dad books and like learning and blah, blah, blah. And as soon as it comes, it's like everything goes out the window and it's just all about feel and experience. And yeah. And also I got told for ages, like as soon as they're born, you feel like a better love. And in my head, I was like, does this mean like I'm going to love her more than my wife? Is it going to be like above that? And as soon as she was born, it was just like a completely different love. It's just like it opens up a different portal in you where you've got this eternal connection with something and also eternal worry.
Listen, does all this sensation, do all these sensations about being a dad become a part of what you do musically?
Yeah, I think for me, it wasn't just becoming a dad. It was turning 30. It was I had a friend pass away, and I'd never really gone through grief, and having that and feeling like I finally became an adult in the weirdest sense. And I thought I became an adult when I was 21, just because I turned 21. But I feel that your 20s are party time and without a care in the world, and you're traveling, you're doing this. And I feel like now I'm settled, married, father of one, 30, gone through my mate dying. Like I feel like this album's a sort of coming of age album. Does that make sense?
That's interesting. I mean, coming of age at 30, it's interesting, but I do understand. I sort of understand what the process of just grieving after a while must be like,
Yeah, it was the first time I'd ever felt like a grown-up when I couldn't make it through a sentence for about a month without crying. Like it was the first time I was, I'd had my grandparents had passed away and stuff, but I feel like when you're younger, all your friends' grandparents pass away. So you just kind of expect it. And it's just one of these things that is coming. It's obviously really sad when it does, but it's all part of life. But when life is taken away at an age where it's not supposed to be, it's just a bit of a shock, I think.
Does all this stuff happen in Bad Habits, or is Bad Habits a totally different story?
Bad Habits is a different story. I'm sorry, I was referring to the album is all sorts of ups and downs. No, Bad Habits is just me reflecting on, I was a bit of a wreckhead in my 20s, and I had a lot of bad habits, which I gave up a few months before my daughter was born. And you just have different responsibilities now.
What was it hard to kick them?
No, it was before then. But any time I tried to stop before then, it was impossible. But in my head, I was like, right, my wife's 6 months pregnant. If she goes into labor anytime from now, do I want someone else to drive her to the hospital? And the answer was fuck no. So I was just like, right, that's it. I'm done. I'm done. And I haven't looked back.
That's awesome. Not a lot of people can say that. It's bad habits are hard to break.
But they're hard I think bad habits are hard to break when you're trying to break them for you. But I broke them for two people that I love intensely,
I can relate to that so much because it happened to me when my daughter, when my wife was pregnant with my daughter, and it was like, it was a decision that I made.
Yeah.
I said, I gotta quit all this shit, man. I gotta
Yeah.
take care of,
No,
I gotta take care of
precisely.
family.
I'm glad you had the same experience, man, because I think I've kind of like battled with addiction for a large part of my 20s, and always like I never wanted to be the guy that like had a problem, but I kind of knew that I did, and I never had an excuse to actually properly stop. I'd stop for like a month and then kind of slip back into things, and I'd stop for like a week and then slip back into things. But it wasn't until knowing that I was going to be a dad and knowing that I needed to be a supportive husband that it was like, right, done. And yeah, I think again, this is when you grow up and when you have responsibilities. And that's why I feel like it's a coming of age album, because I had no responsibilities or cares in the world from the age of 20 to 29. And now, yeah, here I am being a responsible adult.
Yeah,
drinking water.
That's pretty cool. I think that's amazing. And like I said, I relate to it so much because a large part of my 20s was spent on partying and stuff. And finally, when the kid came around, I said, well, it's time to just kind of settle down. But does it worry you that, the lifestyle, I remember when you started touring, I don't know if it was Divide. I think the one that brought you to Colombia.
Yeah.
And you would have this hectic schedule. I remember the promoter telling me, Ed's coming from New Zealand. And I was like, shit. This is like a 36-hour, 42-hour flight.
Yeah.
How does this guy? And then, I would go into your Instagram and look at every single night spent on a stage for the past 6 or 7 months.
But then I would go out straight away afterwards. I'd be on stage and I'd go out, and then the next day I'd wake up at 4 p.m. I'd go on stage again, and then I'd go out. So it was just like every day was, and you sort of get into the routine of it where, it doesn't take a bottle of wine to get you drunk. It takes 2 bottles of wine because you're drinking so much. And it's, yeah, I think next time I go on tour, it's just going to be different. And it's easy to cut the habits when you're not surrounded by it. I'm not, when I was on tour, it's just me on stage. And then I've got all my touring crew who fucking love a party. So I would go out with them. But now, like, I'm surrounded by, I've got some of my best friends that live in the hometown that I live in that are pretty placid and cool. And my wife, obviously, I lived with, and my daughter, my dad. And like, I still have fun. I still, me and my dad will watch the football together and have a couple of drinks, but it's just a different kind of fun, I think.
But it's great to hear that you're doing well. It's great to see that, coming of age is doing good things for you. You're shining, man. You look amazing, and I look forward to hearing the song, hearing what you got to say next. I mean, we're big fans of your work, like many people out there in the world, and I wish you only the best with the family, with the kid, with bad habits, and everything coming your way.
Thank you so much, man. This was a really nice chat. Thank you.
Take care. God bless you, man.
Thank you, man. God bless.